Hello, welcome to Undisputed Boxing. We're back to talk prediction. It's prediction time. We always love the predictions. Devin Haney versus Jorge Linares. If you're new to the channel, we started this about 6 months ago. It's kind of our lockdown project. We do predictions, reviews, talk a bit of boxing gossip, mainly talk nonsense. If you like it, please share the videos, like, subscribe, comment, negative comment. Don't worry, it's all good. Yeah, bit of an update. I'm going to be back I'm actually in Singapore. I'm going to be flying back to the UK for good. So I'll be on the same time zone as Rick. So we're probably going to try and chuck out at least 2 or 3 videos a week at a bit more of a reasonable hour. So yeah, that's the update. Right, Devin Haney versus Jorge Linares. Rick, talk to me.
Haney points. There you go.
Yeah, I think that's going to be most people's prediction, isn't it?
It's the safe money, but it's one of those where, I think both are technically very good. Neither are like devastating punches. Neither have weak chins. One's kind of up and coming and one's experienced but on the down, but one's not too green and one's not too past it.
Yeah.
So it just makes sense that that's the way it will kind of fall. It won't be a shock if Linares won, but it would be against the odds clearly, and really derail Haney. But Haney's someone who's sometimes not performed that well.
Yeah.
And I think that may hinder his marketability and that. So for Haney, if it's going to be points, it needs to be maybe like or hopefully a wider scorecard, but
yeah,
like we saw on the weekend with a couple of knockdowns and then winning on points. But don't know, it's and he's still quite young, Haney, so whether he's still got his man strength still to come on a bit more.
Yeah, he's 22.
22, so
he's 22, 25 and 15. So he's had a lot of fights for a 22-year-old.
Yeah. But obviously this is his biggest test, but I think it's a good stepping stone, and it's really ready for it for a while, and he might be one of these where he just fights better the best of the opposition. So we'll see what comes of it. I'm not lit up about this fight, if I'm honest. I think it's the right fight for him, but I'm not getting up for it, which says I'll catch it in the morning. But I struggle to see it being any. I'm trying to think, has he ever been really chin tested?
No,
because he's hard to catch. He's quick reflexes. He's got decent defense and that. And I suppose we just don't know tons about his chin. We've seen Linares go down. I mean, Mitchell floored him with a stomach punch. It was a stomach punch.
Yeah.
So he can be hurt. But yeah, that's how I see it. Where are you going?
Yeah, I'm going to go Devin Haney points. I think it's the safe bet. I'm trying to think. Whenever Jorge Linares has lost, he has always been stopped. So if he was to lose a points decision, it would be the first time he's lost a points decision. Because I remember he got stopped by Loma. But for me as well, Devin Haney needs to put on an absolute masterclass, or he needs to stop him. And I think that if he can do that, then that's when the public and the boxing fraternity actually demands, right, Devin Haney needs to fight Teofimo Lopez. We need to see who is the best lightweight fighter. Because, and this is a little bit of a problem with, oh God, who's the middleweight now that we've been talking about for ages, who's just beaten Liam Williams? Oh, mine's just gone. No. Just beat Liam Williams.
Andrade.
Andrade. This is the problem with Andrade. He's just kind of doing enough to beat his competition. Whereas Gennady Golovkin, before he fought Canelo, his resume actually wasn't that good, but he was demolishing guys. The Martin Murray's and all of the kind of the middleweight contenders. He was knocking them out, and the public were demanding. They're like, we need to see Gennady Golovkin fighting Canelo. We need to see who's the best middleweight. That's the fight. And that's kind of what Devin Haney needs to do. He needs to kind of beat Jorge Linares in devastating fashion. And then people go, right, now we want to see Haney versus Teofimo Lopez. But I just don't know whether, we are going to see that. There isn't really any evidence of Haney's previous fights that suggests to me that he's going to stop him. I think it'll be, a comfortable points decision. I think, it's probably going to be the most likely outcome.
It was a bit boring this week, isn't it? There'll be no prediction tensions.
I am interested to see Jason Quigley is back against Shane Mosley Jr. Middleweight fight. I was quite high on Jason Quigley a few years ago. Well, I still am. I think he's a tremendous talent, got an awesome amateur background. He's linked up with Andy Lee. He obviously got sort of derailed after his loss against Toriano Johnson. But I still think Jason Quigley, if he can notch, put in a good performance on Saturday, he's really in that mix, in that middleweight mix. It'd be good to see him get a shot at a title.
Who's Teofimo Lopez got next? Has he got another fight lined up?
Yeah, he's fighting George Kambosos. I think it's on the 19th of June. Is it 19th of June? It's the Triller card. It's a IBF mandatory.
Yeah.
This
is Matchroom's first card in Vegas.
Yes, it is. Yeah. I was wondering actually whether Matchroom were going to ever do another fight in Vegas, because I think there's something that happened with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom and Vegas. They had a bit of a falling out with the commission, and I think it was the Daniel Jacobs against Julio Cesar Jr., which was supposed to be in Vegas. And I think Chavez didn't get the license or something, so then they ended up, having the fight in Phoenix randomly. And I don't know if that pissed off the commission or what. There's something went on there. But yeah, I actually forgot about that. It's going to be the first fight in Vegas for a while. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's a straightforward prediction.
Yes.
Should we do some news?
We could do some news. What we've covered the fallout, the AJ Fury Wilder fallout. What other news have we got?
Well, we haven't covered the next level of the fallout, which is Heard's accusation, basically.
Yeah.
So he's in a much awaited IFL interview where he's stopped short of blaming Fury, but has gone in on the rest of them, basically saying that he basically says something stinks, and he hasn't quite gone into what stinks, but I guess he's almost saying they probably never wanted to fight Joshua anyway, and they knew this was going to happen, and and I suppose there's some evidence for it in a sense where as soon as the arbitration came, there's no apparently there's been no actual offer of another a step aside. Everyone seems happy as Larry, and they're just going to get on with the fight, and there's a date and a venue, and it's all like, that's convenient. And I know they had the contract already, but still, it was almost like we're just moving on with it.
Yeah.
And it's funny because do you remember after Joshua's fight against Pulev, he was like, he wouldn't say Fury's name, and he wouldn't say if he was up for the fight or not, and he kind of said, I'm just sick of everyone, no one seems to really want it, and I don't trust. He basically just said, I'm not going to talk about it because I just don't trust people. Yeah. And I think this is this is potentially more proof. And then he went and had a Twitter spout with Fury saying, you've shit it, basically.
Yeah. Because it doesn't feel like there was any. I mean, that's the consensus. I think that there wasn't any attempt to salvage the fight. You can always step aside. Step aside money. I mean, Frank Warren was very critical of the AJ Fury. Everybody wants the AJ Fury fight. Yeah, but AJ's got a mandatory against Usyk. It was like, we'll give him step aside. You can just give him step aside. You can take care of that. Just give him some money, and then we can make the fight. And it's almost like it feels a little bit hypocritical, because now that Fury has this obligation to give Wilder a rematch, and they've not even made any attempt to, to step aside. Now, whether they probably didn't want to pay that kind of money or off, I mean, I'm pretty sure they didn't offer any money. There was no discussion because the ruling was on the Monday and the fight was signed that Saturday. The same week, the fight was signed. The venue was booked, 24 hours later? And the fight was signed that week. So, I mean, what does that tell you? I mean, the optics are pretty bad for Top Rank.
Yeah, and Fury's not come out going, this is or anything like that. I mean, we are hearing a little bit from Hearn's side, but he was saying, he spoke to Bob, and he was just like, "Oh, we're just going to march on with the fight. What? No step aside. No, we're just going to get it out of the way." It's just like, because I can't see how everyone's going, "Oh, just be moved to December." It won't happen in December, because Joshua's. They're saying now that Joshua may not fight Usyk until like September.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we spoke about it to death, haven't we? Really?
We have. I mean, there's one good thing that's come out of it is that everything else is going to fall into place now, and hopefully, the heavyweight division isn't going to be held up anymore. There's going to be a lot of fights that will start being made, and we can just kind of get on with it. And let's hope we do get, the winner of those respective fights fight each other in December, and we get an undisputed heavyweight again. I still think there's a lot more bumps in the road, but let's see.
There seems some other things like changing as well, because like Hearn was almost saying, it's not 100% Usyk, and he kept saying little things that make me think, is he playing things here for it maybe not being? But it'll look bad if they move away from the belt.
Yeah, I think that's a negotiation tactic. If Hearn comes out and says, we are all in, we're fighting Usyk, that's what's happening, we need to keep this belt, then that strengthens Usyk's team's position for negotiating the fight. They go, okay, we've got them. We could just drive the price up. We'll drive the price up. Whereas,
be careful with that though, because it's WBO and it's 80-20.
Yeah.
So they could just go to purse bids then.
Yeah.
And you could end up getting a lot less.
Yeah, a lot less if AJ vacates. That's what I'm saying. If AJ's team say, okay, we're just going to vacate, then Usyk has to fight Joyce probably, or Joseph Parker, for a fraction of the purse. That will go to purse bids, and they'll probably get less than $1 million.
But even if they let the AJ fight go to purse bids, it's like that could end up being a lot less than. I mean, who's going to bid for that? Will anyone bid for it other than, Hearn?
Yeah, probably. You can still vacate the belt though, pre or post
vacate the belt. But also, it could be a thing of, right, if it goes, so they could offer like Usyk 10 million, yeah, which means that the 10 million, and he'll be like, no, I want more, I want 15 or something, and they'll go, oh, well, they go to purse bids. Hearn could bid 30 million. Will anyone else bid more than 30? I might be wrong, but I don't know who else around that would be confident to bid this kind of money. So if he bids 30 million, and the rule is you get 20% of that, suddenly he gets 6 million.
Yeah.
So he's gone from 10 to 6.
But if they threaten to vacate, then, like I say, it's basically you say, okay, well, look, this is what we're going to offer you. Otherwise, we're going to just vacate.
Yeah, it's even worse in a sense. But then, do they really believe he'll vacate? He's gone on about being undisputed. So I just don't think that's on the cards. But I can see why Hearn's doing it.
Yeah.
But anyway, Pacquiao and
Errol Spence. Yeah, good fight. Really good fight.
We got.
I think it's in August. I think the date has been set, but I haven't made a note of the date because it's one of those where I don't fully trust if it's going to happen. I mean, Pacquiao has had maybe 3 or 4 fights announced this year, and none of them have come to fruition. So I think we're going to believe it when we see it. But yeah, I mean, Terence, that's a big slap in the face for Terence Crawford, because I think he really needed that fight to kind of strengthen his position for the Spence fight. It's just very frustrating. I mean, Errol Spence, Terence Crawford is the fight. Everybody knows that's the fight. That's what's going to happen, and it just doesn't seem like it's ever going to happen. Very frustrating. But
what's the rumours with Crawford? We got any dates or names for him?
nope, nobody. I haven't heard any. The only whispers I'd heard that he was going to fight Manny Pacquiao in Dubai, and then it kind of fell by the wayside. And I mean, I think, was he there for the Taylor Ramirez fight?
Can't remember.
So, you know,
Who's
that's
that?
a potential. Yeah, I just can't. Yeah, I don't know. It's Terence Crawford has got a real problem. He's got one more fight left with Top Rank, so he obviously can. He's a free agent after that. I think he just needs to get out of Top Rank. He needs to move across to PBC. I mean, the 147 division is probably one of the most frustrating divisions at the moment because there's loads of talent there. There's plenty of fights that could be happening, but it feels like they're all of them are having kind of one fight a year. Like Errol Spence, I know he's had his problems out of the ring, but you know he's averaging about one fight a year, and he's in the peak of his. You know, he's in his prime. Keith Thurman's the same. He's probably been less active. Sean Porter.
Yeah, this is where you've got to give credit to Canelo because he just, you know, these guys don't really want to seem to chase legendary status. I mean, I'm not a fighter, but it might be that some of them get to like win a title and it just the thing drops and, you know, don't know where Canelo seems to want to bash out fights. I've got you had some news before. I've got a bit of news as well of my own that viewers will be happy with. I'm getting a new kitchen, so you'll soon get a new coloration behind me. That'll be good deal. Something to look forward to.
Yeah, something to look forward to. Keep us updated on the kitchen for sure.
I'll do. Is there any news?
I don't think so. I'm just trying to think now. What was any other fights that are due to be made? No, we'll do Shane McGuigan. We've talked about Shane McGuigan linking up with Daniel Dubois. I think that's a good little link up. I think we've talked about that before.
Parker Chisora potentially for September, October. I'm hearing. I'm
not interested in that. Are you?
Not particularly. I'll watch it, but not. This leaves. If Usyk fights Joshua, it does leave. What's his name? Joyce. A bit of a. What does he do?
Yeah, I think Frank Warren they've all gone to sleep on Joe Joyce, haven't they? Because he is. I know that he's been waiting in the wings to fight Usyk for the mandatory spot, but I mean Daniel Dubois is fighting next weekend, and Joe Joyce beat him convincingly. Daniel Dubois had a horrendous injury. Joe Joyce hasn't done anything, and it's not like Joe Joyce is young either. He's one of those where his career really needs to kind of get a move on.
We also missed a big. We haven't spoken about a really big fight that took place. That was Char versus what's his name?
Chris Lovejoy.
Lovejoy, yeah. That just looked like some. I don't know what it looked like.
I haven't seen it.
It looked terrible.
Yeah, I have to be pretty selective with my time. I haven't made any time to watch that. No. All right, let's wrap it up. So let's get together on Sunday. We'll do a review of Haney Linares. Bit of a prediction for Dubois versus Dinu, although I think we pretty much know which way that one's going to go. But we'll do a bit of let's do the fantasy boxing card on the back of that vid as well. Make it a little bit more interesting. All right,
we're going to go for seven fights.
7 fights. Okay, 7 fights.
Current era.
Current era, yeah, of course. Okay. All right, cool. We'll do that.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, everyone.